The Supreme Court, on the final day of its term, has just issued two long-expected rulings. First, the High Court decided it cannot get involved in a dispute over congressional district maps that were challenged as being too favorable to one political party.
And the court ruled the Trump administration needs to explain more fully why it wants to add a question about citizenship to the 2020 census. And until then, it cannot be added. Jan Crawford is outside the Supreme Court. She's been looking over the document. Jan, what are the justices saying in this census ruling?
Well, I think the bottom line in the census case is that it's not over. The justices, in a majority opinion by the Chief Justice John Roberts, joined by the four liberal justices, are saying they're just not buying the explanation that the Commerce Department gave for why it needed to add that citizenship question. Remember, they said that the Justice Department needed this citizenship information so that they could properly enforce the Voting Rights Act. But the court, in its decision, says, look, we're not buying that. There's a lot of evidence that you cooked up that explanation after the fact, after you already decided that that question should be in the census. This does not mean there won't be a citizenship question in the census. It just means the Commerce Department is going to have to do a better job explaining why they want one in the first place. The question, though, is time. The Census Bureau said it needed an answer on this by the end of this month. Obviously, that's only a few days away. So there's a question of whether or not practically they can include it in the census. But remember, the census is going to be online this year for the first time, or 2020 for the first time. So it's unclear actually how much time they're going to need. But right now, it's not over. They're going to need some more information.
Jen, on gerrymandering, the justices by a 5-4 vote decided redistricting cannot be policed by a federal court. What does that mean?
Again, a decision by the Chief Justice, this time with the conservatives, saying that this isn't a question for the federal courts to get involved in. When a state and state legislatures are drawing their electoral maps, that if they're doing it purely for political purposes to preserve their own power, the federal courts shouldn't be getting involved in that. State courts can look at it. State legislatures can come up with independent commissions for redistricting. But short of something like race discrimination, they're just not going to get involved in these issues that they see as purely political disputes. A very strong dissent in this case, by the way, by Justice Elena Kagan with the liberals, which she summarized from the bench, calling it really a sad day for democracy.
Very interesting, Jan. Thank you very much.